Court cases are matters of serious debate. From frightening outbursts to furious judges, Court Cam gives viewers an in-depth examination of some of the most stunning and emotional courtroom moments caught on camera. However, there are a few hilarious moments, once-in-a-while moments. So in this video, we are going to show you the most incredible moments in court. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Antonio Barbo, one of two teenagers accused of killing an elderly Sheboygan Falls woman, was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole in 36 years on August 12th.
I looked to Nate and nodded and shook my head as in yes or no. He nodded and then I took the first swing.
Barbo pleaded no contest to first-degree intentional homicide in a Sheboygan County courtroom on June 24th. It was part of a plea deal. Barbo and Nathan Pape are charged with first-degree intentional homicide for allegedly bludgeoning to death 78-year-old Barbara Olson, Barbo's great-grandmother, her Sheboygan Falls home in September 2012 with a hammer and hatchet. With the plea deal, Barbo changed his plea from not guilty by mental disease or defect to no contest. Barbo will be eligible for parole in 36 years. He also testified in Pape's trial. A psychiatrist has testified Barbo has cognitive issues stemming from him being struck by a car when he was 10, possibly affecting his behavior. He could not get through his statement in court, so his lawyer finished it for him. I know I don't show my emotions. I myself am not sure why, but that doesn't mean I don't. I took away someone's mother, grandma, sister, or friend. I had no right to do so. Because of this one action I decided to take, I've ruined so many lives, Barbo said. Barbo will be eligible for parole in 2048. Jennifer Mee, a Florida woman who became famous for her uncontrollable hiccuping, was found guilty of first-degree murder Friday night and will serve life in prison without parole.
It's not a jury veneer who's never heard of the case.
Right.
It's not a jury veneer who's seen something.
This motion is denied without prejudice.
A Pinellas County jury deliberated for 4 hours before delivering the verdict against 22-year-old Jennifer Mee. The verdict and 5-day trial was a sad end to a chapter in Mee's short and sad life. Her attorney said she suffered from schizophrenia and Tourette's syndrome, and a court psychiatrist said Mee's intelligence was low normal. As a 15-year-old, Mee developed a case of hiccups that wouldn't go away. She appeared on several TV shows and while on the Today Show, was hugged by fellow guest and country music star Keith Urban. Mee's co-defendant, Lauren Rayford, was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in August. Lemmet Newton, the other co-defendant, who was also Mee's boyfriend at the time of the crime, has not yet gone to trial. Trevena said his client did not orchestrate the robbery and that there wasn't enough evidence to convict her. She tried home remedies and consulted medical specialists, a hypnotist, and an acupuncturist until the hiccups finally stopped on their own, though not for good. Her attorney, John Trevena, said his client was on medication to control the hiccuping, and even then, she occasionally had bouts. She hiccuped briefly during one day of her murder trial. In 2010, Mee lured Shannon Griffin, a 22-year-old Walmart worker, to an abandoned home under the pretense of buying marijuana. Once there, two of Mee's friends robbed Griffin at gunpoint, but he struggled and was shot 4 times. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Diana Lovejoy, a woman convicted of hiring a hitman to kill her estranged husband, was sentenced in court. Diana Lovejoy was sentenced to 26 years to life in jail.
Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of attempted murder.
Prosecutors say Lovejoy hired Weldon McDavid, her shooting instructor, to kill her estranged husband, Greg Mulvihill. The attack happened at 11 p.m. on September 1, 2016. Mulvihill was hit in the arm but survived his injuries. McDavid was sentenced to 50 years to life. Lovejoy, 44, was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder in November 2017. Weldon McDavid was also found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, but the reading of the verdict had to be postponed because Lovejoy passed out. Mulvihill declined to provide a victim's impact statement before the sentencing. Franklin Williams. Franklin Williams is a 32-year-old Black Ohioan who, at his sentencing hearing, was talking. Judge John Russo thought he was talking too much.
Was advised by counsel that, in fact, we had missed some of the items that needed to be discussed with respect to...
So with Williams surrounded by 6 officers, Judge Russo ordered them to place red tape over Williams' mouth. The judge explained his reasoning for having tape put over Williams' mouth. It was to maintain decorum. After silencing Williams with duct tape, Russo proceeded to sentence Williams to 24 years in prison in absentia for aggravated robbery, kidnapping, theft, misuse of credit cards, and unlawfully possessing weapons. What Russo did to Williams isn't just humiliating and unnecessary, it's against the law. All criminal defendants have a right to speak at their sentencing hearing. Under both federal and Ohio law, a judge at sentencing must address the defendant personally and ask if he wishes to make a statement on his own behalf or present any information that the judge should take into account before delivering punishment. This is why the requirement is so important. It's the last opportunity for a defendant to influence a judge's decision about the punishment to be imposed. If the defendant chose not to testify at trial or go to trial at all, then the sentencing hearing is oftentimes the only opportunity for the judge to hear directly from the person she or he is about to punish. Judges in Ohio who silence defendants face the possibility that their original sentence will be tossed out by an appellate court. In Silsby v. State, the Supreme Court of Ohio found that the defendants in the case were not allowed to speak at their own sentencing hearings, even though they properly raised the issue at the time. As a result, the court ordered the defendants to be resentenced. In Williams' case, even though the judge allowed him an opportunity to speak on his own behalf, it is clear from the video that Williams wanted to present more information about his case and his experience in the system. He wanted to tell the judge that he was handcuffed on a bus for 5 days on the way back to Ohio, and that he'd met his public defender only a few days before the sentencing hearing. This particular fact is important information because the new lawyer may not have known all of the mitigating information, so allowing Williams to present his own evidence was critical to the appearance of fairness at his sentencing hearing. Esteban Carpio, a man convicted in June of killing a Providence police detective with the officer's own gun, was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Carpio, 28, shot Detective Escott James Allen in April 2005 inside police headquarters as he was being questioned about the stabbing of an elderly woman. At the court hearing, Carpio made his first public statement since the shooting, breaking down in tears as he apologized for what he had done. "I am truly, honestly, sincerely sorry. Please forgive me," he said, seeking mercy from the judge and forgiveness from the victim's family. He said he never intended for the shooting to happen. His own relatives had pleaded for leniency, saying he suffered from severe mental illness.
Police brutality! He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried, and he didn't.
Defense lawyer Robert Schicktoff had asked the judge to give him a sentence that would allow a possibility of parole, even though he knew that would likely never be granted to him. A jury rejected Carpio's insanity defense and found that he had killed Allen while the detective was performing his duty, a determination that made Carpio eligible for life without parole. Carpio was being questioned by detectives in the police station late on April 16, 2005 about a stabbing that happened earlier in the day when he was left alone in a conference room with Allen 50, a veteran police officer and married father of 2 teenage daughters. Within moments, they were locked in a struggle and Allen was shot twice at close range with his own handgun. Carpio was not under arrest in the conference room and was not handcuffed. Carpio escaped out a third-floor window and was captured about an hour later in downtown Providence in a violent struggle that left him bruised and battered. A prosecutor, Allen's widow, Marguerite, and the city police chief all urged Cross to impose the maximum possible sentence. Assistant Attorney General Paul F. Daly said Carpio's adulthood had been consumed with crime and that he had squandered opportunities in life by dropping out of high school in an affluent Boston suburb. Daly said Carpio had a severe antisocial personality with no hopes of rehabilitation. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts below if you like this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.